I just turned the stream on. What? All right. What's goody team? What's goody team? Yo. Nah, I just started the trading class. Thank you, brother. Oh. I don't like the people who join this channel like this, man. Give about another 3 minutes to join. Here, what's goody? Post this link real quick. And I'll be ready to. Time's at 37. Yeah, go about another 3 minutes to join. 40-minute mark. Hope everyone has had a great day so far. Hope everyone had a good trading day. I don't know why I fucking feel like I'm losing my voice, but it's not good. I'm not gonna be able to get the link. This is crazy. There you go. Yo, kind of, you can hear me. I had to make the channel private, but you should be able to join it. You can hear me? I forgot. Sucks, man. My fucking throat hurts, man. Pause, pause, pause. Yo, this computer's mad slow now, bro. I gotta upgrade this shit. Why your throat hurting, man? Go ahead, you rich. That's how I got rich, man. That's why my throat hurts. It's kind of unfortunate, but it's all good. Yo, alright. Lock in, man. What the hell are you talking about? Alright, I finally got the fucking link. Dude, I just don't understand why my computer is so goddamn slow. Clipped, whatever, bro. Whatever, bro. Alright, so I was waiting to see if anybody else was gonna join before we go over AU, but looks like it's just you and me, man. Me and you. You and I, me and you. It's all good though, bro. For the ones watching the recording, if you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to message me on Discord. You could leave the question in the comment section as well. So AU. All right, let's talk about first and foremost today's trade. Right, so you guys can see the top-down analysis that we've been looking at, right? And if you go and you watch Monday night's isolation session, you'll see that we talked about this. Right? We talked about where price could go, why, the points of interest, and what we were expecting before we looked for a trade. Right? So took a short trade today, pretty simple. 30-minute engulfing going short. Right? Before I go down into the details on the 30, let's go to the daily time frame to understand why I went to the 30 and why I looked for the entry. Right? Because understanding market structure and understanding your entry models are two completely different things. But in order for one to be true, you need the other one to give you the confirmations that you need to see before you could execute. Right? So in order for there to be an entry model, there needs to be reasons before that entry model happens to give you the confirmation that that's the bias that you're looking for. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to say it in different ways so it can make sense to everybody. Right? In order for an entry model to be present, you need to see higher time frame market structure. Daily, 4 hour, 30 minute, from the top to the bottom. Right? So we understand that AU overall, currently we are still on an overall downtrend. We are at the top of the second zone of consolidation, which is A2. We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. Price gave us an inducement of the top of the zone of consolidation. We know that this is our point of interest on the higher time frame that we would call our safety trade. Right? We know price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, zone of consolidation, lower low, break of structure of the zone of consolidation. Right? And we understand that there's three things the market could do. After a break, price could give you a simple retest to then continue back down. Price could give you a steeper pullback, between the 50% and the 78.6, depending on what your entry models are. It could be the golden ratio, it could be premium discount zones. You could be trading this even, for the ones who don't understand, the 23.6 and 38.2 pullback, which is just a simple retest. What are the confirmations you need to see in order to mark that area on the pullback as your point of interest? And we know we didn't get that on AU, so we knew that that simple pullback wasn't going to happen. We were looking for two things, either a 50% retest or we were looking for price to go beyond that, give us the premium discount, which is a 78.6 between 78.6 and 88, right? Or we were going to get the equal highs. We were going to get another inducement of the highs to then continue to go short. Price gave us the inducement of the daily highs, never gave us a valid break. Price came up to the daily highs, and again, everything is color coordinated. Daily highs, daily lows are gray, 4 hour highs, 4 hour lows are blue, 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows are red. Right? So, gotta lower this music. Way too loud. So, we know that price reached our daily highs. Just gave us an inducement. It was just wicks. Never gave us a valid break of structure. With that being said, once we saw that price gave us the inducement of the high, what else do we see on the chart? Right? We have this marked up on the 30-minute, which is the 30-minute gap. So we know we have a gap at the bottom of the market that price needs to fill. Does it need to fill it right away? No, it could take weeks, it could take months. In this case, it's taken a few months. This gap was made in January or in March. What else do we see? We have 3 months of rise. After 3 months of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. And what is the market currently doing? Moving sideways. Price gave us an inducement of the high, came back to the bottom of where we could see price moving sideways. There's no trend here, right? Pretty much on the daily time frame, we're marking it up, right? From the daily highs and the daily lows. We gave an inducement of the high of the zone of consolidation. We know price is going to go down. On the 4-hour time frame, what do we see? 4-hour time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price gave us a higher low point, came back up to get another higher high. Did price technically give us another higher high point? Yes, right? Because we could clearly see this high lower than this high is higher than this high, right? So higher high, higher high. This high, higher than this high, higher high. However, when we're looking at structure and when we're expecting price to not only give us higher highs, right? But we know that price gave us higher low, higher high, higher low. In order for this to be a valid higher low point, what do we need to see? We need to see a valid break of structure that gives us this higher high. So the reason I'm not expecting price to give us a higher low point to continue to go up is because price never gave us a break. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting price to go lower to where at least this area over here. Why? In order for price, now let's say we're completely wrong, right? We say, oh, price continues to go up. That confirmation is going to happen here. Price is going to give you the rejection to go high, or price is going to give you the break to go lower into the 4-hour lows. Now, the question that a lot of traders will have, well, how do you know this isn't the higher low point? Because on the lower time frame, you have these lows and these lows, which is still higher lows. Let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. Or let's go down to the 30, sorry. $30-minute time frame. What are we trading? Now I'm gonna change the color to red so we're not confused. Damn, I already kind of messed it up because I left, well, whatever, it's all good. Lower low, lower high, lower low. What do we have at these lower lows? A gap. Why is my phone ringing? Okay. We have a gap. What do we know about gaps? Gaps need to be filled. Perfect. Price then gave us higher high, right? This change of character here is the first confirmation we wanted to see if price was going to continue to go up or if price was going to continue the downtrend push. A change of character, it doesn't need to be a valid break. A change of character, for the most part, you're always going to see it as just the inducement. So cool, you have the higher high, higher low. In order for a BOS to be valid, you want to see a clean break. So I'm not marking this as higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. No, all of this is part of the same trend up into these highs. Then price gave us the higher low. Price gave us another higher high point. Valid break. Perfect. Price gave us a higher low. Price came back up to where? The top of the zone of consolidation. Remember, this is why everything is color coordinated. Don't get confused. We're back at the top of the zone of consolidation. Cool. What did price give us at the top of the zone of consolidation? gave us the inducement, did not give us a valid break. Then what happened? Price came down, right? Came down, boom, gave you the change of character all the way to down here. Price came up, lower high. In order for us to say that this is going to be a continuation trade to continue back down to the bottom, what did we need to see? 30-minute break of structure. Boom, we got it. Clean break. It happened with this candle over here. Lower high point. Now what am I looking for? Lower high point somewhere in this area to continue into a lower low somewhere here. All right, so I hope I'm not losing you guys. Now again, remember what the question was on the 4-hour time frame. Could this still be an area on the higher time frame where this is just a higher low point and this is where we will continue to see price go up? Yes. So this is where the lower time frame comes into play. On the lower time frame, what do we see still? Lower low, lower high, all the way down into another lower low. The lower time frame is still on a downtrend. That tells me that overall, we are still on a downtrend. What does that mean? If on the lower time frame, if price would have given us lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And it would have started giving us this type of movement here, where we could say that this is a change of character, higher high, higher low point. What I'd be looking for to be like, okay, this is where price could turn around, is if price then gives us the break of structure, retest, and this is when we could start thinking about, okay, maybe we caught the first leg perfect, this isn't going to be a continuation. But the fact that we are still on a downtrend makes me believe that we are going to continue lower. Now let's say again, let's give another possibility that could happen on the chart. Right, so take a screenshot of this if you need it. I'm going to erase something so I could do another drawing. Right, this was the possibility of price going long. Right, that was the possibility of price going long. Now, let's say price reaches our point of interest, which in this case, my point of interest is not going to be the 38.2, 23.6, which is the flag post pattern retracement. It's not what I'm expecting to happen on this chart. Why? Because I'm looking at the EMAs too. We're in level 3. We want to see price bounce off the 50 EMA. The 30-minute time frame EMAs, you have the 50 crossing below the 200. You have the 50 crossing below the 800. You had price break below the 800. Those are all confirmations for me that tell me that price is going to go short. Now, I know I'm looking for a bounce off the 50 EMA. Look how close we are from the 50 to the 50. If price continues this uptrend push, the 50 will be on the 50 EMA. Go back down to the 5-minute. Right now, we are bouncing off of it. The 5-minute doesn't really look that good, right? For what I want to see. And then the 1-minute, just to look at if we need to look at structure differently on the 1-minute. We could get away with saying this is still lower low, lower high, and then all of this is lower low. Right, so the 1-minute will have a little bit more data too. And we have the 800 EMA on the 50% pullback. So that also looks good. Give you a little change of character, right? I'll even draw this out on the 1-minute time frame to have a little bit more to talk about tomorrow morning when we're trading live. This is where we're either going to see price give us the inducement, or this is where we'll see price give us the break. And I should have drawn this a little bit more out. What time is this? Yeah, it's all good. Any questions so far? Let me know. And again, for the people that are going to watch the recording, there's some of you. Any questions, let me know. Remember to put the timestamp so I'm not confused when you're talking. We're 20 minutes into this, well, 15 minutes into this example. So that's what I'll be expecting on AU. Now, to talk about, once again, the trade for today. Very simple. You had the inducement, like we talked about. You had the lower time frame, right? We were looking at the lower time frame. We wanted to see price break below. Didn't get that beforehand. So right now, all we had was just the inducement. Price gave us the inducement. We started trending below. Price came up, gave us the engulfing candle, came back down. All right, let's go to the 30 so we can see that once again. And then we'll go to the 5-minute as well. Price gave us the engulfing candle, came down, gave us the retest, and that was the entry. Again, on the 5-minute, in that same area, what did we see price do? We saw price come back down, give us the bounce off the 50. Perfect. So we already knew this was a strong area to take the trade. We take the trade on the retest. Stop loss above the engulfing candle at 5 pips. TP at STP for the day, which was 64 pips. And out of the 64 pips out of the day, we got 48. Not bad. How the fuck do I put timestamps? If you look at if you hover over the video, it'll tell you the time. So then just write down that time. So like it'll tell you 22-minute mark. 22 minutes and 25 seconds, pretty much. So AU is looking good. AU is looking promising. This is definitely a pair. Once again, you can see that exactly what I drew out. Gonna be interesting to keep an eye on AU. I'm gonna keep this drawn out as well for tomorrow morning. So then we had a day of rise, 2 days of rise. Third day was today going counter trend. Price gave us a day of drop instead. Perfect. Now we know where we're at. We know what we're looking for. Gonna be a breeze. It's a pretty long explanation on AU, I'm not gonna lie. That was a good one. I think I answered everybody's question too in that. Right, because Inferno had a question earlier. And I explained that with the market structure. So I think, and then the entries were pretty much the same questions from everybody that I got. So that should answer everybody's questions for today, from earlier today. Yo, I better not be getting sick. That's all I gotta say. All right, so EA. Currently still not trading EA, right? We're still on an uptrend. Right now, I'm not going to mark this as a second push to the bottom side. We're still trading higher high, higher low on the daily time frame. So I'm still waiting it out. You guys can see exactly what I drew out. This is what I'm waiting for. At this point, we have 3 months to drop. I'm not expecting price to continue to fall, but we have gaps in the market. Gaps in the market reset the trend, so price could continue. Right, and all I'm looking for is the trend. We're still making lower lows and lower highs on the 4-hour, on the daily. On the daily, we're still on an uptrend, right? We're still looking to see if price is going to give us a set higher low point to then continue back up, or if price is going to continue these downtrend pushes. And EA is moving a lot and very fast. Right? Our lower low points and our lower high points are far from each other. We're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. So EA for me, I'm just going to keep this marked up, but I'm not going to be trading it. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over this one, and I'm going to turn it off. Once again, the question that I get the most: how do you look at so many pairs at once? from 7 p. or usually 7 p.m. but we started late today, right? So from on the regular, from 7 p.m. to 8:30, what am I doing on the chart? I'm just updating them. I'm not trading. I'm not doing anything else but just updating my charts and getting them ready for when I'm trading from 5:30 in the morning till 10:30, 11 a.m. I'm looking at 16 pairs. Yeah, I'm going through 16 pairs. But you can see already, all right, boom. I marked up my chart. I saw that this isn't giving me what I want to see. I turn it off. And what do? Go to the next pair. And do the same thing. Daily time frame. Where are we? Peak high territory. What do we know about peak high territory? I don't trade peak high. I don't trade peak high. So I already know this is a pair that I'm not going to be trading. However, we know we have a gap at the top of the market. Price on the daily time frame gave us a change of character. What do we know about the change of character? This could be an inducement. So ECAD doesn't look that bad to continue this push to the top side to go back up. What do we see on ECAD? An engulfing candle. I don't know if it's valid. Let me see. We want to see the body of the second red candle close below the wick of the first candle. And it closed in the same area. So it's not a strong engulfing candle. I'm not going to mark it. But we can see that price is respecting the engulfing candle. Gave you the retest, and now we're just sitting in that area. Cool. 4-hour time frame. No continuation. Price was just moving sideways last week. On the 4-hour time frame, price gave you the engulfing candle. Gave you the retest, went to the top side. Cool. So we have a strong engulfing candle on the 4-hour. 30-minute time frame. Once again, structure is not in our favor, unfortunately. It's the only thing that's missing on ECAD. We're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and we're stuck in this little zone of consolidation. Where price is rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs. So what are we expecting? Price to go back low. So right now for ECAD, not doing what I want to see. We had 2 days of rise. Today on the third day, price gave us that third day push, ended on a drop. Am I expecting a 4th-day variation where price gives you a rise drop to continue? No. Why am I not expecting it? Because we had such a steep pullback at the top. If price would have given us a valid break of the highs, and then would have given us some sort of pullback like this, then yes, I would be expecting price to continue. That's not what I'm seeing here. So I already know ECAD is most likely not going to be a pair that we're going to be trading. We'll come back to it. Go to EU. So you see how every time I do my analysis on each pair, I already know, okay, out of these 16 pairs, AU is good. EA is bad, you turn it off. ECAD is bad, you turn it off. And you go to the next one. And now we're down to 13 pairs. Right? EU, what do we know about EU? We're currently in the second zone consolidation on an overall uptrend. Push 1, zone number 1. Push 2, zone number 2. Right? First zone consolidation, second zone consolidation. What are we expecting and what are we waiting for? We're waiting for the last push, push number 3, to go into the previous peak highs. Perfect. In the zone of consolidation, did price give us a valid break of structure? No, it gave us an inducement. So am I expecting price to give us higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low to continue? No. What did price do instead? It went down back to the bottom of the zone of consolidation. Could price go lower? Absolutely. Price could definitely go lower, especially, right? Remember, we marked this as a second zone consolidation the last session. I said it, I'm like, I don't really like it. Why? Because price could technically go back lower into the first zone of consolidation. Instead of this being marked up as V2, this could all be part of the same trend, especially because we never had that valid break. It was just an inducement. And what do we know about the trends, higher highs, higher lows? It's only two things that could happen. Either price is going to make it simple and do something like this. Price could do something where it gives you the higher high and it starts consolidating, gives you a false break to then continue. And that's what I'm expecting price to do. Only two things the market could do, either trend or consolidate. And what is price doing? Consolidate. So we'll see. Once again, this is take a screenshot, keep the timestamp. If you have any questions about this, let me know. So right now for EU, yes, even though we're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, I'm not going to mark this as a safety trade. We have 2 weeks of drop. On the third week, which is this week, we're expecting price, could be expecting price to give us that third week drop. But we know we have gaps in the market, reset the trend. So price could do whatever it wants at this point. We don't have any strong confirmation that price is going to continue that downtrend. We also had the inducement of the 4-hour low, which gave us a change of character. So we already know if price decides to come back down to these lows, gives us a break, we're gonna go down. If price gives us an inducement, we know we're gonna go back up. 30-minute time frame. We have change of character, higher high, higher low. Didn't give us a valid break until when? Until these candles over here. So we know we were trading higher high, higher low. Right, then price consolidated, gave us a nice little pullback here, gave us a higher low point. When it went back up to give us another higher high, what did price do? Gave us an inducement. And then we start seeing price lower low, lower high, lower low. Now, how am I gonna mark this? This would be a very good question as well for Inferno. This is pretty much the same question he had earlier. On the 30-minute time frame, am I going to mark this as higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low? No. Why? EU right now is a big pair, 97 pips. We see these inducements of the highs. All of this, I'm going to mark it as a higher high point. And I'm going to mark this as a change of character. Why? This should be the other question. Because again, remember, the higher time frames, what do we have on the higher time frames? Inducement of the low of the zone of consolidation. Inducement of the low, right? 4-hour time frame, higher high, higher low, higher high, boom. Inducement of the low, change of character. We have an inducement on the daily, inducement on the 4-hour. What do we have on the 30-minute time frame? Inducement of the low. Right? So I'm just putting the dots together. What is price doing? Is price trending, or is price giving us inducements? Giving us inducements. We had 2 days of rise. On the third day, which was today, gave us that third day high, finished on a drop. Now again, we're on an overall uptrend. Am I going to mark this as a rise drop? No. Doesn't look clean. We have a very steep pullback towards the end of the day. I'm not expecting price to come back all the way to the top side. However, we already have our areas of interest. These lows, right? Price is either going to give us the inducement to then continue, or this is where price is going to give us the break to go back down onto the 4-hour lows and do the same thing. Either break to continue or the inducement to go back up. That's what I'm looking for. Now, and again, you could go a little bit deeper into it, go to the 5-minute time frame. But on the 5-minute time frame, what is price doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Still same thing. You already know the window that you're trading in. These highs and these lows. In order for price at this moment, right? Let's say price continues this push to the top side, and it just keeps pushing to the top. Before I do anything, I need to see what price is gonna do here on the lower time frame. Either price is gonna give us a simple retest. See, can I no. Let me do this. Hold on. Either price is going to give us a simple retest, go short, or price is going to continue these pushes to the top side. And if price does that, same thing. When price reaches these highs, we're either going to see price give us the inducement to go short, or price is going to break to continue. So I know what I'm trading at already. So 30-minute, we're trading between these highs over here and these lows over here. And we're just going to be patient. I know for EU right now, just got to be patient. So perfect, right? And why be patient? I want to reiterate this as well. I don't need to catch the lowest of the lows or the highest of the high. Sometimes the market isn't going to give you that picture perfect precision entry at the lows or vice versa at the highs. Is there times where they can and they will? Yes. And I know that I will have that opportunity if price gives us an inducement of the low, especially on the lower time frames. Now, when do I know that price isn't going to give me that pinpoint entry at the bottom? Is when the lower time frame isn't giving me those inducements. So I already know that specifically right now how EU looks. I'm not looking to take these trades in this area. Yo, could you please? I'm not looking to take trades in this area. When will I start being interested in taking these trades on EU? And I'm marking this up on the 30-minute with the highlighter so we could go back to the daily so you guys could see, like, maybe you're tunnel visioned in this area because it looks so big on the 30-minute time frame, forgetting how the bigger picture looks, right? I'm okay with missing this entry here that doesn't look like an A+ setup because I'll start looking for my trades here to then continue. How does this look on the daily time frame? Right? And the continuation that we're looking for is very simple. Rejection of the low, go high. Rejection of the low, go high. Rejection of the low, go high. I'm okay with missing the first initial push of 133 pips. When once we get our confirmations, we're going to be targeting 200, 300 pips plus. When price gives us the confirmation that this is where price is going to go back to the top side. So, you see it online all the time. People are going to call it greed. People are going to be like, yeah, you guys got to stop being so greedy. That's such an open, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, everybody's perception of what greed looks like on the charts is different. Some people just put like greed. Yeah, you just gotta stop wanting $200 and go for $50. Like that's not the case. It's part of the case, but it's not the case. Right? When I look at greed on the charts, it's like what I just marked up. Like, why am I gonna force a trade feeling anxious and feeling like I'm gonna miss the trade when realistically speaking, we have such a big window of opportunity if we just wait for the confirmations that we're looking for. And I hope that makes sense. Right? So I'm not going to be greedy trying to catch the lowest of the lows every single time, especially when the confirmations that I'm looking for that I want to see on the charts aren't being displayed. It just makes no sense. So again, what am I going to do as a trader? I'm going to turn this chart off. Does that mean I'm never going to look at it again? No, this just means I know that for tomorrow morning, I'm not going to be focused on this pair. Can I go back and look at it? Yes. And if it's doing something that we want to see, you know, again, if price decides to, from this time, 9 p.m. to 6 in the morning tomorrow morning, price could do a lot of things. Price could come back to the lows, give us the inducement we want to see, and then continue. Absolutely. But this isn't going to be a first priority chart that I'm going to be looking at tomorrow morning. So I'm going to turn it off. When I get back on the charts tomorrow morning and I go over the pairs that I want to see, the pairs that I want to see an entry, then I go back and I'm like, okay, let's go back and see what these other pairs did across the last 7 hours. And then if there's an entry, if there's something happening that we want to see, then we take the trade. So EU right now, turning it off. You need a clipper? Yeah, bro. Like ASAP. I've been saying it, bro. Where's Mike at? Where the fuck is Mike, man? Like that guy is he disappeared on us. I don't get it. Yo, I really hope I'm not getting sick. GA, where are we? Same thing we've been talking about. Peak high territory. Very similar to EA. Could we say that we have the first zone consolidation into the second push to the bottom? Yes, technically we could say that. Before I say that, what do I want to see? The change of character, higher high, higher low, higher high, change of character, lower low, lower high. After the lower high is set, what do I want to see? A valid break that gives us the confirmation that the trend has shifted from an uptrend into a downtrend. Do we have a valid break? No. Price gave us a change of character and just continued to the bottom. We don't have a set low just yet. So perfect. We know we have a lower low set. What do we want to see? A lower high. This is a pair that could still be on an uptrend. So what am I going to be looking for on the lower time frames? I'm going to be looking for higher highs and higher lows in order to trade. Do we have that? No. We still have lower low and lower high. So again, two things I'm looking for. I'm either looking for price to give us the break or the inducement, or I'm looking for price to give me the inducement or give us the break. Everything here in the middle, not really interested in. And I'm gonna mark this up with the pen. Where are we in a little zone of consolidation where price is rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, and what is price doing? Going back to the highs. You're looking for the same information on every single pair. Same information. So now that you know you're stuck in a zone of consolidation, what do you want to see? Very simple. Dude. Either for price to give you the break, either for price to give you the inducement. That's it. It's only two things that could happen here. So what am I going to do with GA? Turn it off. Zone of consolidation. What do we know about zones of consolidation? Zones of consolidation are an area in the market where the market makers are trapping traders, inducing traders to get into a trade to hit their stop losses. Again, when I ask you guys, again, I hope for the ones watching the recording, you write this shit down. When I ask you for the definition of something, I don't want the characteristics. I don't want you to tell me, oh, a zone of consolidation is price moving sideways. Okay. Why is price moving sideways? What is the definition of a zone of consolidation? What is happening in a zone of consolidation? That's what it is. An area in the market where the market makers are trapping traders, hunting for stop losses, inducing traders to get into a trade to hit their stop losses. That's what's going on here. They're trapping every trader. Doesn't matter what your strategy is, you're getting trapped. You get into a trade yesterday. And look at this one candle here. Doesn't matter what you're trading, your stop loss is hit. And then you continue to try to catch a falling line. And you're like, oh, lower low, lower low, lower low. This has to go lower for the people who trade trendline tools. This has to go lower. We're rejecting highs. And we're creating lower lows, lower lows. This has to go lower. And then what happens? Straight to stop loss. Goes right back to the top. So once again, if I already know that a zone of consolidation, or if I already know what a zone of consolidation is, why am I going to be trading it? Am I going to trade in the middle of the zone of consolidation, or would I rather just wait for the break or wait for the inducement? I don't care about these smaller moves. Again, I'm looking at the bigger picture. If we get the inducement of the highs, we're going back to the low. That's 146 pips. Why am I worried about catching 50 pips, 20 pips, 30 pips? Why am I so anxious wanting to rush into a trade when all I have to do is just be patient, wait for the extra confirmation? Hope that makes sense. Gave you guys a couple seconds there for that to process. So GA, we're going to turn that shit off. We already know the deal. That's simple. GCAD, where are we? Still in level 3, on an uptrend. We're back at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. This is what our safety trade is. We're still on a daily time frame uptrend as well. Higher high, higher low, higher high. We went back to the low of the daily lows. We got the inducement. Perfect. We have a gap at the top of the market. Perfect. Looking good so far. 4-hour time frame. What do we have? 4-hour time frame. We have the inducement of the low as well. A change of character. We had higher high, higher low, higher high, boom, lower low, change of character. 30-minute time frame. What do we have? We had lower low, lower high, lower low, boom, higher high, change of character. Higher low, boom, higher high. Break of structure. Had to break above the 800. Cool. This looks nice. We know we're trading now between this higher low point and this higher high point over here. We had a day of rise, 2 days of rise. On the third day, gave us a rise drop. Very steep drop. Not expecting a 4th-day variation. Let's go up a time frame. Do we have any engulfing candles? Daily time frame. We have an engulfing candle here. So we're sitting in an engulfing candle currently. Price already tapped into it and came back, so we know that this is already a weak engulfing candle. So it's not going to be a strong point of interest. On the 4-hour, we also had an engulfing candle. On the 1-hour time frame, nothing yet. On the 30, has a top wick, bottom wick, top wick, bottom wick. The first red candle has a top wick and a small bottom wick, but it does have one, so I'm going to mark this up as well. This is another point of interest. And we'll go down into the lower time frames too to have a better picture of the trend. 15-minute. Go to the 5-minute. 5-minute, we have lower low, lower high. Right, we have the change of character, and we have the break of structure to the downside. So my confirmation to tell me what I'll be looking for today. Right, let's paint the picture vividly for everybody. Trading between these lows, trading above these highs. If we are looking for price to continue this trend, right, to go to where? To go up to these 30-minute highs here. What do I need to see? This is just on the 5-minute. We could go down into the 1-minute too to see if it's a little different. Right, 1-minute time frame, we had lower low, lower high, lower low. So on the 1-minute, we have the change of character. Cool. Let's go back to the 5. We'll go down to the 1 now. There's 2 ways you're going to see this. All right. We're making lower lows and lower highs. How do I know that this is going to be a valid lower high point to continue down into the bottom? Right? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is like, okay, we can see that we're in a downtrend, but we want to see a higher low point being set. In order for us to say, and let's also add this, right, for the traders who use fib tools. Right now, price is where? In the golden ratio zone. 50%, 61.8, where you would be expecting price to give you the higher low point to continue back into a higher high. So if you're a trader and you're currently trying to see if you should short or you should long, right? You have the short traders who are currently in this trade already because of the lower time frame, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Then you have the other traders who are trading this already going long because they have the change of character. What would I be looking for? Me personally. Okay. In order for me to say that this is a valid lower high point, on the 1-minute time frame, we know that we are now trading between this high and this low. If price comes and gives us an inducement, we know we're going to continue to go short. If price gives us a break, we know price is going to go higher. Until where? Once again, you're still trading between this high and this low. This lower high point and this lower low. This push on the 1-minute time frame could still be a lower high point for price to continue to go short. The price is going to do the same thing. It's going to continue either break, right, to then continue, retest to continue, or price is going to give you the inducement to go back. And it'll do the same thing in these highs. This is when we know price is going to continue the break to do what? Continue into those highs that we were looking for. Just mapping it out. That's all I'm doing on the chart, just mapping it out. So we're just going to be patient. I'm going to keep that marked up like this. I'm going to keep the drawings on so we can come back to this tomorrow morning. You know, it's crazy that you're the only one in here, Kendall. I don't even know if you're still in here, to be honest. I know we started the class late too. Relatively late. So there's going to be a whole bunch of more people watching the recording. Sorry I haven't made it in time for the session stuff. I should be starting them at 7, but I'm outside in the AMG. Right outside. I'm not gonna do the last pairs going into details of every single one. I'm gonna start speeding it up a little bit. Already been in this bitch for 55 minutes, man. So GJ, and these last couple pairs too anyway, you know, US 30 down to silver. I don't really mark them up here in the isolation sessions, but I'm gonna update them. I'm just not gonna talk about them. Right, GJ is another pair that I'm currently not really trading. We're in peak high territory. Not really interested in it. The price gave us this engulfing candle. It did give us the engulfing candle. So let's see what price wants to do in this area. What am I doing? 30-minute target. Got 2 days of rise. On the third day, price gave us a rise drop. Yo, my neighbor got his AC on in this fucking freezing ass cold ass weather. Psychopath. Hungry, man. We'll see what GJ wants to do. GU gave us a day, 2 days, 3 days, third day rise drop. Same as every other pair, man. Damn. Such a steep pullback. We're still trading lower low, lower high, right? It was a change of character. Lower time frame, we have low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, change of character. Then we had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Zone of consolidation, higher high. And price gave us lower low, change of character, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So same exact situation. 1 minute time frame. We already have the higher high, higher low. Right, change of character, higher high, higher low, and then break of structure, higher high, black pulse pattern. Zone of consolidation between 23.6 and 38.2. All right, so you guys can see that I'm not lying to you. For price to continue that uptrend push. Right, so we'll see. We'll see when we wake up. Same exact scenario. Looks like a pair where we're just gonna be patient, wait for that valid 5-minute break instead of the 1 minute. Same thing we've been talking about for the last 17 pairs that we just did. Nothing new. And then again, I'm just gonna mark these pairs up, but I'm gonna talk to myself. But if you have any questions, well, I guess Kendall, you're the only one, and you trade US 30 and all this other bullshit with me, so nobody else is on the stream that trades the smaller pairs that shouldn't be trading this anyway. So if you have any questions, let me know, my brother. Price came. We're still higher high, higher low on the daily. On the 4-hour, we have the inducement of the low. Right, we have the change of character, lower low, lower high, gave us the inducement, lower low. Nothing to update just yet. We're still on the inducement. After the inducement, we want to see price start giving us the uptrend push, where price gave us on a 30-minute lower low, lower high, lower low into these areas here. That's not what I wanted to move. We're trading in this lower high point. And this lower low point. We have 2 days of rise. Third day did not give us that third day push. Gave us a drop instead. Go to the higher time frames real quick. If price could give us on the 4-hour time frame that valid break, lower low, this is where we'd be expecting that lower high point to be set to then continue back down into a lower low. But because we're still in an inducement, I'm not expecting price to give us that lower high point. I'm expecting price to start an uptrend, right? However, again, on the 30, we're still making lower low, lower highs. And on the lower time frame, same thing. Maybe on the 1 minute, once again, we could get a little frisky and say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And the window that we're trading in, these lows and these highs. And what is price doing right now? Just moving sideways. So US 30 will be patient. We'll give 30 some time. We'll give 30 some time. Very simple. Right now, the only pair that really looks crystal clear that I would love to just continue to trade is AU, man. It's the only pair on the list right now. Gold. Just follow market structure on gold, man. That's all you gotta do too. Still on the daily and 4 hour, same place. We're in the middle, just moving fucking sideways. You got balls if you trade gold, man. Especially now. 2 days where price was moving sideways. Third day gave us the push down to the bottom. Like, really nothing to trade. And then 30-minute highs and lows is the same thing. We're trading between very big 30-minute highs and low areas. And I'm not with that. I'm not gonna give myself a headache trading this. I like the fact that price gave us that valid break of the lows already as well. Those valid breaks were given here. So, you know, if I had this shit marked up correctly, not correctly, but if I were to have actually have been marking this up the last couple of days, we could have caught a nice trade on gold. We're looking for a valid break of the shoulder head shoulder. The inducement happened here, which means what? This is where we wanted to see price give us a confirmation of the break. Wanted to see price give us the closure below. And it gave us the closure below here. Then price did what? Zone of consolidation. We're in peak high. We want to see price bounce off the 50. Okay. Well, let's see, the question again now. As a trader, you have to ask yourself these questions. Right? What are my entry models? Perfect. Great question. Start seeing if we see anything. There's nothing on the 30, nothing on the 15. Right, what I'm looking for is an engulfing candle, something simple. On the 5 minute. Nothing here, nothing here. You got an engulfing candle here that was already tapped into. This engulfing candle here. Did price reach these highs? No. One minute time frame. Five-minute structure too, we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. On the 1 minute, see, this is why I like keeping gold updated, but I've been slacking. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Inducement, lower low. Then price gave us higher high inducement again, then gave us a higher low. Then gave us higher high, higher low. Then price gave us lower low, change of character, lower high. Then it gave us lower low, lower high, lower low. Why is my chart locked? What happened? What the? Why do my charges lock? You look at NU, not yet. Well, I haven't even looked at NU in a long time. I have that shit turned off. I'll take a look at it though at the end. I got you. Price gave us the higher high change of character. Right after the change of character. Again, if you want to mark this up, I want to see a valid break here. I don't think we got it. I think the wick. The wick just missed it, man. Damn, that would have been clean. Right. All we have was just the crossing of the EMAs. We're in peak high. We want to see price bounce off the 50. We had the inducement. Right. Price bounce off the 50. Now, again, personally, would I have taken this trade? No. Why? Because even though it was just an inducement, right, we still had an exhaustion candle. Right. So I wouldn't have looked to take this trade until price would have given us change of character, break of structure. This is where I'm taking the trade. Still not bad. Let's do the math. All right, I would have been looking for this retest here off the 50 EMA. My stop loss, where would it be? All right, my stop loss would be above these highs on the 1 minute, above the previous lower high. Why there? Because I don't have any other confirmation. The last green candle before the push was overtaken, and it wasn't really a strong one either. Why? Because of the areas that I'm looking for the pullback. I'm not looking for a 23.6, 38.2. I know that I'm gonna get a 50% to a 61.8. What do we get on the FIP? 50 to a 61.8. So when you're looking at a 50% retracement, 61.8 retracement, the best area to put your stop loss is above the structure. Is the safest stop loss you're gonna get. Now, what would your TP be? Perfect. Great question. 30-minute time frame. Let's calculate what STP is for the day to see if we would have taken this trade. 142 minus 33%, 95 pips. 95 pips from the high of the day. This was the high of the day. 95 pips is here. This would have been the trade for the day for me on gold. Something simple, a little 1 to 4, 1 to 5 if you want to round it out. Not too bad, not too shabby. Cool with that. Gave you a little bit more than STP for the day. Cool. We know gold is a very volatile pair. You know, if you want to be, I don't even want to say this on stream because I don't want to have people start doing this with every single pair, especially the people who shouldn't be doing it. What time was this given? At 8 in the morning. Trader like me, it's a little bit more advanced. What would I be looking for before I exit this trade? Because I know that NYC session gold is very volatile. And we're trading this a little bit before NYC, so we have a little bit of gas to continue to trade this. What did price do? Lower low, lower high, all the way down to the bottom. And it just continued the downtrend. I would have held this trade. Lower low, lower high. lower low. Once I saw that price gave us a lower low and it gave us these inducements, I would have cashed out of my trade here. That's it. Price didn't give me another valid break of structure after the low. Started giving me exhaustion candles. I'm out of here. And then what happened? Lower low, boom, back up, higher high, higher low, higher high. So you just gave up a few pips. All good, still not bad. But I would have been looking at something like this, much bigger, right? A 1 to 10 instead of a 1 to 4. Just from STP. But again, I don't want to confuse everybody and have people start doing this shit that they're not supposed to do. But gold would have been a perfect pair. Well, I don't know why I couldn't get that out. Perfect pair to look at today. That was completely just missed. Just because I didn't mark up the chart. But now I know. All good. That's what backtesting is for. You start seeing your rules apply. Everything you want to see and everything that I talked about today, you guys can see. It's not in hindsight. We're looking for the same thing every single day. Bitcoin shoulder head shoulder gave us the break on the 800. We know price respects the 800 EMA. I'm not expecting price for Bitcoin to continue to go down. I'm not. Not in this area. Not right now. Could it? Absolutely. We're in tough times in the world, man. When you're trading commodities, when you're trading crypto, when you're trading the indexes, the world events, it moves the market. You want to be a little bit more careful trading these sometimes. And right now, again, 30-minute, lower low, lower high, lower low, price just moving sideways. Still making higher high, higher lows in these areas too, in the zone of consolidation. So again, why am I not rushing into getting into a short position just because I see a pattern? Because market structure doesn't make sense. Why am I getting into a short trade when price is still making higher high, higher low? It doesn't make any sense. Right, we're on the 800 EMA. It gave us an exhaustion candle. I'm not expecting price for Bitcoin to go a little bit like lower than this right now. I'm not expecting. 5-minute time frame, lower low, lower high, lower low, gave us the inducement. Not a valid break. 1-minute time frame gave us the break. Lower low, lower high, lower low. So we already know. Where are we trading on the lower time frame? What do we want to see? In order for price to go lower, we need to see a break below the lows. In order for us to start being comfortable, to start taking these trades back up, I need to see price give me this break. We get this break, we go back up. Again, that's another 150 pips. Right, technically 1,500 pips because we're trading. It's a bigger pair to continue. US oil, man. 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. We went down. Then what did price do? It was a day of rise. It was a second day of rise. We know we're in an overall downtrend on oil. At least that's how I have it on my chart for now. 2 months of rise. After 2 months of rise, the market, we're looking for a 3rd-month push. We got the 3rd-month push. We're getting that. We have a crazy exhaustion candle at the highs, which was that imbalance move that we had from last week. 30-minute time frame. Do I not have? All right, hold on. Because gold was another pair that I didn't want to mark for a very long time. Let's remark this real quick. Alright, so gold, because of that crazy ass imbalance that we had, crazy move. We're trading between these lows and all those highs at the top, right? There's a change of character to the low. And these highs over here. This is the area that we're trading in. And then I had this marked as a shoulder head shoulder. Right, so this is the area that we're trading in. In order for price to continue to go lower, we're going to see a price break below these lows. In order for price to go higher, we want to see a price break above. Or the inducement to continue. Silver, 2 days of drop, third day already given with the opening candle. Same thing as gold, we're still higher high, higher low on the daily. 4 hour, we had the inducement of the low, just a wick. Right, price came back to these highs. Pretty much just in a little sideways movement area here, no continuations. "30-minute structure. Lower low, lower high, lower low, boom, change of character, higher high. Waiting to see if price wants to give us a higher low point. We're still below the EMAs as well on the 30. Lower time frame. It's going to be a little bit easier on the 1 minute. Never mind. Well, same thing on the 1 minute. So 5 minute, 1 minute, we're still on those big lower low areas. So once again, for silver, it's very simple. I want to see price give me that break of the highs to continue or the break of the lows to continue. And once again, I'm okay with missing this initial leg. I'm okay with it. Waiting for the confirmation. So and then you wanted me to go over NU. Sub the NU. Still in the same fucking area, dude. I turned this shit off and I'm not interested in trading this right now. Don't really care for it. On the no nut. It's been 1, 2, 3. It's been a month that I haven't updated on you. Week of no nut, still have this engulfing. Week of drop. 2 weeks of drop. We have gaps in the market on all 3 weeks. Right? Yeah, that third week low, not. I was like, oh yeah, we could. Nah. The gap, not strong. 30-minute time frame. We had low, lower, high, lower, low, higher, high, change of character. Lower, low, change of character, lower, high, lower, low, higher, high, higher, low. Inducement of the high here, then price gave us change of character. Would have liked to have seen the bodies at these close. You have the change. I want to see a valid break. That valid break is going to tell me if price is either going to go lower into these areas or if price is going to continue back up. That's pretty much it. Let's take some time here to look at AU real quick, see what price is doing. All right, that's pretty much it, team. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Any questions again for the ones watching the recording, let me know. And tomorrow morning we'll continue to look at these pairs. We'll let this shit breathe. Before we get off as well, look at Forex Factory for the news. We have JPY news all day tomorrow. GBP news we have at 3 in the morning. 4:30 CHF news, 5 a.m. CHF news. GBP news again at 8 in the morning. 8:30 unemployment for USD. 9:15 Euro, and that's pretty much it. And then Friday's a bank holiday for JPY, and I most likely won't even be home in the morning to trade Friday. So tomorrow is our last day on the charts for the week. So what pair is that? GJ. I don't want to go to GJ. Yeah, how's it? We're pretty much done. Be back tomorrow morning. Um, pretty much is keeping an eye on every single pair, I guess. But AU looks like the one to really keep an eye on. But we'll see what we could get done tomorrow morning. Hopefully, the news tonight. We might have to wake up, bro. To be honest, might have to be up 2 in the fucking morning. Fuck.
No, I don't want to do that.
I do not want to be up at 3 in the morning, especially because I'm hungry, yo. But it's already 10 p.m. All right. See y'all tomorrow morning. Peace out.